Hello, welcome to Spotlight on Souris, brought to you by WCG TV Access Channel 12 right here in Souris, Manitoba. Today is March 27th, 2017. My name is Laura Simons, and today I have with me Linda Rykman. Linda is part of the COP program here in Souris. Now that's right, Linda, isn't it? It's a COP program?
Yes.
Souris COP program?
Yes, it is. That stands for Citizens on Patrol Program, which is a provincial organization, originally just sponsored by Manitoba Justice. But I think it was around 2001, Manitoba Public Insurance, MPI, took over part of the responsibility for the COPS program in Manitoba. So MPI provides most of the funding for the local organizations, which they provide like some basic equipment, flashlights, tubes, caps, t-shirts, the vests that we wear that have the yellow and the markings on them, the reflective vests. And so, and then they do some provincial programs where we can be involved if we want to. So
For more learning and
they, as well as learning, but also they support the RCMP when they want to do different programs. Like there was one out where we could go and monitor if people were wearing seatbelts or using cell phones, which our group hasn't really been involved with yet right now because we're young, only been going about a year. I really wanted to stay with just the patrols and not be involved in those. But MPI does sponsor them and will provide you extra materials for doing that. And I think they're doing one on speeding in May where we could have got a speeding board that shows how fast you're going. But again, as I said, this group is just kind of, fledgling and just wanted to do the patrol so far. So.
Right. So, being that it's just a new group, how many people are organizing it?
Well, actually, Brenda McKinney and I were the co-chairs.
Okay.
Lorraine Arbuckle is our secretary, so we just have the three of us. And then we coordinate with the local RCMP. Our contact with Souris RCMP is Dave Wyman, Constable Dave Wyman, and he comes to most of our meetings, and it gives us an idea of maybe what we should be looking for, that kind of thing. So
Okay. So these are citizens on patrol out walking the street. It's not just the three of you that do this. How many do you have helping you?
We have about 22 volunteers.
Okay.
So it's worked out really well. We got to do it differently. Like every community does it differently. Some people set the hours. We don't. We have our groups of 2 people. Each group has 1 week. In that week, we ask them to do 2 to 4 hours of patrol at any time. So if they wanted to go in the morning, if they wanted to go in the middle of the night, it's Monday to Sunday. It's totally up to them. So,
1 week out of.
So we have 10 groups or 11 groups, and so it's every 11th week.
Okay.
They would have a patrol. So.
All right. But they get to pick their times. They're not told that they have to go out from 2 to 4 at night and check things out.
That's correct. We find it a whole lot easier.
So what are they doing when they're out there on the street? What are those things they're looking for?
Well, we're actually, our group is actually the eyes and ears. That's all we do. We drive around. If you see something suspicious or out of the ordinary, a vehicle maybe sitting and running in the middle of the night, in front of a grocery store, you might kind of wonder. So it's just, I saw, a blue truck, blah, blah, blah. If you get the license plate, great. If not, that's okay. It's not that you would sit and confront those people. That's definitely not what we do.
Right, that's for law enforcement.
That's law enforcement. If we were to see a smashed window, we could go somewhere else and call RCMP that we think something's happening. But we certainly don't stay there and confront anybody. Basically, we just see things, write them down. Lots of times our reports come in and it's just, that they traveled up and down this street, that street, so on, and everything was clear. There was nobody there, or,
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Right. So, but if there's a vehicle or people walking where they shouldn't be walking or those kinds of things, they just write it down, and those are faxed to the RCMP office every morning after they're done. And so if something does happen, they can go back and say, oh, well, so-and-so was out on the so that night. And
okay.
So
well, that's very good.
Yeah.
Very good to know that.
As I said, it's just eyes and ears. We're just out there.
Well, because there's only so many patrolmen that are assigned to our town.
Exactly. And, it's getting to be less and less RCMP. And so.
Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it certainly helped. They have come back to us a few times and said, can you resend that report because we think that we might have missed something. And
Okay.
So,
But you actually have a constable that comes to your meetings regularly.
yes, we do.
So you can also touch base with him and know what's happening in the
Oh,
community, what things are.
certainly, yes.
Because we haven't
You know,
had a rush break-ins here.
Yes, and he's made us very aware of that and what we should be watching for and what areas to check. You know, I know they had some problem here at the rink, and so we've advised every shift, every time you make sure you go all the way around the rink. You know, if you're not comfortable, don't get out of your vehicle and check doors or anything. That's certainly not. But you know, if you want to, that's certainly up to. And you can either walk, you can go in a vehicle, you can ride a bike. It's totally up to the people that are on the patrol.
Because sometimes inclement weather would,
Oh,
make
yes.
you think, I'm not going to stand in that rain. And
Well, on Halloween, as a matter of fact, we had 3 groups, so we had 6 people out on patrol, and of course it was raining. It was probably a night when we really didn't need that many out because, you know, although there was one incident and got called for help from the RCMP and taken care of, and you know, they saw a person and that was reported. So so
well, that's very important because this is our community. We all want to feel safe here.
exactly.
We all want to be able to go out at any time of our house, any time of the day, and feel like we can get to our car and to our destination safely, right?
Yes, definitely. So, and I think that's really what kind of instigated. It was back probably January of 2016, and Brenda McKinney and I were talking about there was kind of a rash of vandalism, and maybe we need to do something, and so we decided that we would try and get a group together, and that's kind of what happened. So yeah, it's worked out really well. We do between 15 and 25 volunteer hours a month. So yeah, it works out really well. So
okay. So you guys don't get paid for this position?
No, definitely not. It's definitely volunteer.
Yeah, volunteer for running the organization and for being out on the street and doing the patrols.
Definitely,
for sure.
Yes.
But the funding comes from the MPI.
Right, and as I said, they provide flashlights for the groups, toques. You get a free toque and you get a free ball cap. The vests. We do have some of our volunteers that do like to be real, people who realize that they are part of the cops. So we do have some volunteers that wear the vests, reflector vests that says cops on them, and we do have magnets for vehicles. But not everyone in the group is comfortable with other people knowing that that's what they're doing. So again, it's a personal choice. If you want to wear, clothing that identifies you, that's great. If not, that's great too. So.
Okay. So if somebody wants to volunteer, who do they call?
They can either call myself. My phone number is 204-483-0134, or Brenda McKinney's, and I was going to look up that phone number, but unfortunately
I have it written here. 741-0449.
Yes.
That's what I have written. If that's
yes,
sounds,
I'm sure
okay.
it is. Yes.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah.
Or you can email.
Yes. My email is lrykman, and that's Rykman is with a Y, at mts.net. And Brenda McKinney's is bmckinney@mts.net. So
good. Easily enough to remember.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying 3 to 4 hours during the week that it's your turn to volunteer, and it's a rotation of every 11 weeks.
Right, exactly.
You put the calendar out for the whole
Yes, we do. I think the calendar they have now goes until the end of June, so I'll be making one shortly to keep on going from there. So
okay, can I volunteer and say, you know what, I'm out of town all of February next year, and you guys will make that happen?
No problem. Yeah, we have no problem with that. Somebody else just fills in or whatever. So, well, I know, and I mean, this is just personal, is that my son, they were away when it happened to be their week. So, I went out and took another volunteer with me, and, that time.
Well, my friend Donna and I walk a lot in town, so I think we should just come over and volunteer with you guys.
That would be awesome.
And make it official.
Yes.
Okay. And I think it would also, for those of us who like to exercise, make us get out there and do it as well.
Sure. The only requirement this is a requirement of MPI, is to be a volunteer with Citizens on Patrol program. There's a criminal record check,
right,
and child abuse, and because we're a volunteer group, there is no charge. Like if you were doing that for employment, you would have to pay to have that done at the RCMP.
Yes, I recall it.
But because we're a volunteer group, there is no charge.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And you just get the forms either from myself or from Brenda, and take them to the RCMP detachment here,
And they'll do that for you.
and they'll do that. So yes,
Great.
yeah,
That's
so
wonderful. Okay. So how does this program make such a difference in our community?
well, I think it's that we're visual. MPI also provides signage. So if you notice on number 2 highway, both at the west entrance of town and the east entrance, there are big signs that say Citizens on Patrol is in this community. We also have them up on the Crescent Avenue, both entrances to the park, because we do find that there is a lot of, not this time of year, but in the summertime, there is a lot of activity in the park. So, you know, that signage is there, and I think just making people aware that we're not saying when we're going to be on patrol, but there could be somebody watching, and I think that's a bit of a deterrent with people. We have noticed that, you know, over the summer months, certain vehicles were gathering in, you know, one location in the park, and because people were patrolling that one, you know, they moved to another location, and then, you know, you start making sure that you do that one, and then they're moving, you know, we're not sure where they're going next, but you know, it's written down, and everybody makes sure that they go around and look in those locations. So yeah, so I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, and our community, you know, it's good for our businesses to be able to work and know that everything is safe in their building and they're not being broken into. Also pushes insurance costs up when people have break-ins and have to get things fixed and things replaced.
Yes,
you
definitely.
know, personally, but just that overall safety, I think, is important.
I agree.
For somebody who maybe lives alone or isn't, you know, quite capable of taking down you know, somebody who might be threatening. It's just nice to know that there's somebody around out there watching and looking for potential problems. So,
definitely.
So we're not the cops out there, we're not the law enforcement, we're a volunteer group to be the eyes and ears, as you say, of that enforcement, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you, Linda, for coming in.
No problem.
Spotlight on Souris is brought to you by WCG TV Access Channel 12. I'd like to thank our producer, Sheila Kirkup, our cameraman, Denise Lloyd Barkley. My name is Laura Simons. Have a great day.